Favorite glute and hamstring exercise for hypertrophy? I'll let you take this one first.
Sorry, I'm just texting my wife right now. She said, "What's taking you so long? You've been there for hours."
All right, so I'll go into it. I would say for me, I've been blessed genetically with some good hamstrings and glutes. Just not to toot my own horn a little bit, but as far as hypertrophy goes, well, it speaks for himself. You know what I mean? As far as hypertrophy goes, I do like the glute ham raise. I do like the reverse hyper. Even glute bridges are good for me, and also monster walks have been very beneficial as far as from a glute perspective, and for hypertrophy. And then obviously your compound lifts, deep squats. Even a leg press if you put your feet on the right position. And we're talking about hypertrophy, not sports performance, but hypertrophy definitely for that. And then for glutes and hamstrings, for the glute ham tie-in, I would say a rear foot elevated split squat with the shin angle being vertical is going to be good. And then also a high box side step up is very good as well. So you're hitting the outside of glute med, and you're also hitting a little bit of hamstring if you put the position of the leg in the right position, right? So the force displacement you need to have the right joint angle first and foremost. So definitely making sure you have a vertical shin and you're actually utilizing the glute and then the hamstring to pull your way up and then lock out at the top, squeezing the glute, locking the hip, getting into that hip extension.
That's great. Sorry, I must confess, I missed what the outcome was in the question. Glutes and hamstrings, what is it, hypertrophy? Is that all we're going for?
Yeah, exercises for hypertrophy.
Great, okay. Well, let me chime in here for absolute beginners. One thing that works a treat for our guys over here in Australia or here in Melbourne is a glute bridge with a mini band or a hip circle around the knee. You're forcing the knees out, you're forcing the glute med to fire and engage, as well as the glute max, which is forcing that hip extension. So, there's any number of ways to do it, but I think wherever possible for a beginner, utilize that hip circle or a mini band around the knees, drive the knees out, get as much glute med on your team as possible, and that will result in greater levels of hypertrophy through the glutes.
Yeah, when you're talking about a glute bridge, man, there's so many different variations. Brett Contreras is like the king of that. So if you ever want to look up some glute hypertrophy work, look at Brett Contreras' work. But also externally rotating the feet are definitely going to help as far as pulling the toes out, putting the heels together, and then pushing through the ground through the heels. With the hip circle on has shown tremendous increases in glute and stability too in general. So if you can get a solid brace working on intra-abdominal pressure and then squeezing that glute up, because a lot of times you get into that lumbar extension trying to drive the glutes up. So if you can brace the core tight, you can get more of a contraction in the glute. So a nice strong proximal brace will increase that contractibility of the glutes.
Yeah, that's right. All about tension and stability through that midsection down into the hips and the glutes.